Video games have a wide range of genres, and systems that define those genres. Players have struggled with, or not completely understood, combat mechanics in games. Let's change that. Let's build the deck. I suggest watching the entire video, as there may be details you are not aware of. As you're watching, if you have any game suggestions, please leave a comment or like comments that have suggested games you'd like to see a video for. I want to say that playing Tales of Berseria again reminded me of how much I enjoy this franchise, and how many more systems are in place in the previous games, when compared to the newest game, Tales of Arise. I'm excited. Combat example, please. Tales of Berseria has an action-based combat system with a lot of mechanics working behind the scenes. I'll be going over everything you can see on screen and more. All controls will be PlayStation oriented. There are timestamps for everything for those looking for specific information.
Killing flash, but on this work, I won't miss! Form zero!
Their race! The light of virtue! The dark of vice! Joining chaos! Chaos gaze upon my fire I thought we were done for. I'll
finish this now.
Basic controls. Left stick to move, right stick to move the camera. Square, triangle, circle, and X will all perform equipped arts which spends SG, the blue diamonds. There will be terms that some will not know, but I will get to everything in detail as the video progresses. Hold R1 to view enemy information and move the left stick or press D-pad buttons to switch targets. Tap R1 to target the enemy closest to the active character. Targeting gets interesting as enemies are very much spazzes, switching their targets often. Hold L1 to block, or stand still not pressing any buttons and the game will automatically block for you. There are some extra abilities you can gain as you unlock Ventites. They provide a variety of effects, but some are associated with guarding. Sharpshooter's Ventite, for example, doubles the chance of inflicting stun or other status ailments with the next attack after you have held guard for 1 second. These extra effects are noticeable by this sound and the effect on the center of your character. In this instance, you're looking for the blue aura to know the Sharpshooter's Ventite is active. You will gain more guarding-based effects as you progress through the game. Those are the green and red auras you can see here. While blocking with L1, tilt the left stick in a direction to do a quick step or double tap the left stick in a direction. This spends a small amount of SG. There's also a perfect quick step when it is done just as a character is about to get hit. During a perfect quick step, the incoming attack deals 1 damage. 1. And a soul can fly out onto the battlefield and be picked up by a party member. R2 performs a character's Break Soul, a special attack unique to each character. Break Soul details will be in the character traits section. Hold R3 and press L1 or L2 to issue commands to the AI-controlled characters. L1 is Go All Out. All characters will focus on offense, and L2 is Prioritize Defense. All characters will focus on defense and avoiding attacks. Press and release R3 to cancel the current command. Press the left or right D-pad buttons to shift these character portraits. Press D-pad up or down to switch to the appropriate character by paying 1 VG. Press the touchpad button to open the combat menu to change various things on the fly in the middle of combat. There is arts, equipment, items, and strategy. Each of these options will be explained later. Press the start button to open the menu. Check the controls if you need to. Time to go over the basics of the combat UI. After, I will go over the specifics of these UI elements. Character portraits. These are the number of souls the character currently has. The blue diamonds. Specifically, the diamond itself is referred to as a soul. Characters can gain and lose souls over the course of a battle. The blue color within the souls is referred to as SG, the soul gauge. As this clip plays, notice that the souls turn red. This is the SG being spent to perform arts, the character's attacks. All attacks spend an amount of SG. SG refills over time when not attacking. It also refills while defending. The white outline of each soul indicates how many actions can be performed in a row. As Velvet attacks, one outline goes away per art she uses during a combo. All actions cease when all white outlines are gone. One soul can be spent to perform break souls. Each character has their own unique break soul, and during combos, a break soul restores the white outline of souls. The specifics of each break soul will be talked about in the character-specific traits section of the video. Next is the current amount of HP represented by a number and a visual representation of HP below, with the orange bar. The HP number in green indicates the character is at max health, and is white if not at max health. The yellow number is BG, the blast gauge. Fill the bar to gain 1 BG, and if this number is blue, that means the character is capped on BG and can gain no more. BG is spent to perform Mystic Arts, which are powerful arts that each character will earn through the game. Character buffs and debuffs are displayed just above their HP numbers. Know the symbols to know your buffs and debuffs. Buffs have a green glimmer, while debuffs are red. Enemy health is displayed over their heads. The circular orange bar is their HP, while the enemy's soul count is displayed in the center of this circle. Enemy health will empty counterclockwise. When the targeted enemy is off screen, you can still see their health and souls on the side of the screen. There's also these pink arrows that point to the enemy. There are attack arts and arts that need to be cast. Player character and enemy cast bars are displayed on the center of their character models. Player character cast bars are green/yellow, while enemy cast bars are purple. Both cast bars fill clockwise to indicate when the cast is done. When an enemy casts an art, there will be a few different ways the game indicates who or how many party members will be affected. Details later. The top center of the screen is reserved for the name of arts that are being performed. There will always be something displayed here. Now, let's go over this UI in more detail. Back to the character portraits. Time to talk about souls. They are very important. Characters will be gaining and losing souls periodically during combat. To be specific, I'm talking about the entire diamond itself and not the blue changing to red. We'll get to the finer details of this part. It is a constant tug of war of having enough souls to keep up long combos and not too many souls, as there are some detrimental effects if a character holds many. Once you hit the higher skill ceiling of this combat system, you won't care if you have too many souls, as your foes will not be alive long enough to do anything about it. Just in case, a skill ceiling is a phrase describing the highest level of proficiency a player can have at a game. At the start of every battle, each character will start with 3 souls, and has a maximum of 5 souls. For now, the lowest number of souls a character can be at is 1. The more souls a character has, the more damage enemies will deal to them, a greater chance for enemies to inflict them with status effects, and having more souls lowers the chance the character can inflict status effects upon enemies. A character gains a soul by stunning an enemy, indicated by these yellow stars, and use arts with the stun effect to get this to occur. Inflicting a status ailment on an enemy, and defeating an enemy. The character must get the last hit. Note, stunned enemies receive double damage. A character loses souls by being stunned, and an enemy inflicting a status ailment. Some enemy attacks have high stun rates. Be on the lookout for those. And I mean so high, your character loses a soul from a singular attack. Souls can also appear on the battlefield by performing a perfect evade. In case my emphasis didn't land, this sometimes happens. It does not happen every time. A soul will fly out of the perfect evasion and land on the field for a character to walk over and pick up. Do pay attention to total souls held by each character. AI-controlled party members low on souls will try to pick these up quickly. If they are alright on souls, meaning they have 3 or more, they'll take longer to go pick it up, because obviously you want it. No, really, sometimes you really need them. If a character is at maximum souls, they can't pick up any more souls. Souls can also appear on the battlefield when a character is KO'd. If this happens, 2 souls will fly out from the KO'd character for acquisition. Each soul is worth 30 SG, the blue part. As arts are used, the souls turn red. When all souls are red, you can still keep attacking, but if you do this, you will encounter some unsavory effects. Your combo speed is slower. Combos are more easily interrupted. Your character's attacks are more easily guarded against, and attacks that are guarded will be deflected with your character being vulnerable to attack, as they can't perform any actions, even guarding. If you are on simple difficulty, this attack deflection will not happen. Status effects are less likely to be inflicted on enemies, and healing arts restore less HP. When a character is susceptible to these effects, it is indicated by the souls flashing red. Aim for the souls to be solid red or with a little blue left in the SG tank to prevent gaining the negative effects I mentioned. It is possible to perform your actions, stop attacking, and begin attacking again before your SG is refilled. Do not forget it takes a period of no attacks for the SG to begin refilling, and that it takes time for it to fill. Note, it is possible to increase the base and maximum amount of souls. Look in the video description to see where the following items are obtained. Armory Acerite 4 grants +1 maximum souls to characters wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 20 or more times. Armory Acerite 5 grants +1 initial souls to characters wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 25 or more times. BG, the Blast Gauge, used for performing Mystic Arts and Switch Blasts. Gain BG by performing a break soul with that character, and every character gains BG at the start of every battle based on the total star levels of each of their arts. When a character is KO'd in battle, they will lose BG. A character learning their second Mystic Art provides +1 max BG. It is possible to increase a character's maximum BG. Look in the video description for the specifics on how or where to acquire these items. Armory Acerite 1 grants +1 maximum BG to characters wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 5 or more times. Armory Acerite 3 grants +1 maximum BG to a character wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 15 or more times. Floric Boots, shoes, can give +1 BG. Pegasus Wings, shoes, can give +2 BG. Before I move away from these character portraits, here is every method to switch characters during combat. Press L2 or R2 in the touchpad menu. Hold L1 and press D-pad left or right. Switch out of combat characters in with D-pad up or down. This costs 1 BG. Press D-pad left or right to move the out of combat character portraits to other characters to switch them out with D-pad up or down, so you can switch characters without changing your active character. This will only be available when you have more than 4 characters. Note, characters out of combat regenerate their missing HP over time. Enemy art casting. There are 3 types of casts. The first is a circle that appears around the caster. Note, this circle can be in different sizes. The second is a circle that appears around a player character and will always stay centered on them. The third is a line that connects the enemy and a player character. This casted art will travel along this line to the targeted character. Stop an enemy art cast by interrupting them with an attack of your own. Just hit them, or if you feel you can't stop the cast in time, block it. There is another solution to stopping enemy art casts with Magilu, but that is for later. A note, all enemy art casts have an indicator of when the attack will hit. Watch the color of the cast AoE circle or line. The color changes from white to purple to red. Once it turns red, the attack is incoming. Also, this is good if the enemy is off screen because you can't see the purple cast bar. A detail about the line casted arts. These can be intercepted by another character if they are within the line. A low HP character being targeted and you want to save them? Place your active character in the line by the time it turns red and take the hit for them. When casting an art with one of your characters, there are no AoE markers or lines. Hold R1 to switch targets, and while holding R1, check enemy details. In this box we have enemy name, enemy type, also weak to arts that have this symbol, level, current HP, and total HP, which elements it is weak to, which elements it is resistant to, and any extra information like being weak to specific art types, buffs, debuffs, power links, and help. Press circle to open the bestiary page for this enemy and view even more details about it. Power links increase the strength of an enemy if certain other enemies are present in the battle. Defeat the enemies with the power link to remove these buffs. Notice Mace Wielder and Lancer have the power link status and have this purple ring around them that indicates a power link, but it stops showing up when you target them again, so just look for power link. Oscar has an art defense buff. Once the two enemies with the power link status are defeated, Oscar will lose this buff. The enemy being buffed is usually bosses, and the additional enemies provide the power link. Power links can often appear on reinforcement enemies. The touchpad menu. On the top right of the screen is the name of each enemy in the battle, how many there are, and what monster type they are. In the center, the top option is arts. Change attacks for your characters mid-combat. The right option is equipment. Change equipment on the fly. Be as overly efficient as you want, because some equipment does extra damage to specific enemy types. We'll get into arts and equipment later. I have a ton to say about both of these. The bottom option is items. Use items to restore HP, revive KO'd party members, and a few other types. The left option is strategy. Change how the AI-controlled characters act in certain situations. The strategy menu will be gone over in more detail in the AI control section of the video. This box on the right side of the screen has some extra controls. R1 plus left stick left or right zooms the camera, and R1 plus left stick up or down changes the camera height. While holding R1, this plus sign appears. When you move the left stick up or down, the blue square that was in the center moves. The squares are how many different levels of movement the camera has. Moving the stick left or right moves the red circle. Interesting design choice for changing the camera. Want an in-between of two squares? Can't have that. Pick one. Press L1 to change the control mode for the active character, and you can see this change below the character portrait. Press L2/R2 to switch the active character while this menu is open, and on the left side you can see which L3 AI command is currently active. In the out-of-combat UI, you have the minimap on the top left. Hold R1 to display the current main objective in the top right, as well as the name of the current skit on the bottom right. Skits add some flavor by showing interactions between characters and sometimes add some lore to your adventure. Overall, I've always enjoyed the Tales of franchise's skits. If an expedition is done, this boat symbol will be in the bottom right corner. Press square to open the map. Hold circle to walk, for those immersive moments. Press L1 to recenter the camera behind your character. L2 lets you fast travel. There is a difference in what item it costs dependent on if you are in a dungeon or not. This will be gone over when discussing the items menu. Press R3 to zoom the camera in and out. There are 3 settings. Press the touchpad when out of combat to open the main menu. Before we get into all of the buttons at the top, the party members can be reordered. You can change which character is the active character when starting combat, and change which character is running around outside of combat. Pay attention to the button key at the bottom, as these can sometimes change depending on what is highlighted. Press triangle to change leader. This red flag indicates which character you run around with outside of combat. Press square to change formation. Select a character and then press square again on another character to make them switch places. Starting from the left, the first character will be your active character when starting combat. You can also see what control mode they are set to. Oh, and how could I forget? Do you notice the 1P right here? This game can be played with up to 4 players in local co-op. Back to my explanation. The left 4 characters are the starting combat party, while the 2 on the right will be on standby until you switch to them mid-combat, indicated by sub, here above their levels. Press X on any character to see their status window. Notable things that can be seen is which art a character will learn next, and press triangle to look at a full list of equipment skills the character currently has active. The detailed explanation for both of these windows will be later. Now, it is time. Let's talk about the arts window. Here, you equip which arts you want on which buttons. Every attack a character performs in combat will be set on this list. Any newly gained arts will have new flashing on them as a reminder. Once hovered over, new will go away. Let's start with what each section of this screen is. Top right, switch characters with L1 or R1. The highlighted portrait is which character you're on. Below this is the character name. Press L2 or R2 to switch between Set Arts, Arts List, and Break Soul/Mystic Arts, and press the Options button to switch the character's control mode. In the center we have the area where you set arts to one of 4 buttons for triangle, square, circle, and X. Below this is the description of the art. The art's name, element, description, type of art, SG cost, status effect/effects, enemy type or types it is strong against, and the name of a different art. This art name in yellow is a mechanic that is unlocked once you acquire the Warrior's Ventite and Wizard's Ventite. Details of both of these Ventites will be discussed in a bit. These are not the only mechanics I'll be getting into that must be unlocked by acquiring a specific item or are obtained by reaching certain points within the story. I'll continue to tell you the name of these items at those moments, and you can find unlock conditions in the video description. Back on topic. Times used. The amount of times this art has been used in combat. The star rating of the art is based on how much it has been used, and the EXP bar here is a visual representation of how many more uses the art needs before it gains another star. For those of you that notice moving stuff, there is a bobbing arrow that says next page. Move the left stick down to switch to next page. This next page is unlocked once you acquire the Virtuoso's Ventite. Much cleaner to look at, but let me explain the other page first. Our buttons are on the left, and above these are stages 1 through 4. Set an art to stage 1 for triangle. When in combat, press triangle to use this art. Set an art for the other 3 stages. Press triangle repeatedly to use each of these arts in order starting at stage 1. Once the stage 1 art finishes, it will use the art equipped to stage 2 for that button, and so on. Once it uses the stage 4 art, the cycle will start over from stage 1. This is the basis of how you create your combos in Tales of Berseria. But just because the game will use these arts in the order they are placed, does not instantly mean they combo well together. But honestly, most combinations will work just fine. Some experimentation will still be required for some characters more than others. So, you have 4 combos you can create. 1 set of arts for each button. This is the basics, yet it can get more complex from here, or simpler depending on what you want to do and mechanics you have unlocked. I'm sure you noticed there are lines connecting each of these arrows between stages. Let's say we have this setup of arts. For Velvet, Slicing Foot is on stage 1 for triangle, stage 2 for square, stage 3 for circle, and stage 4 for X. In combat, press triangle, square, circle, and X and unleash 4 slicing foots. You do have to time your button presses a bit. Yes, I know you noticed. Once you press a button for a stage 1 art, you can follow up with any stage 2 art. These arts can be mixed and matched as long as you follow the flow of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. This gives you access to 12 different arts per character in combat with the ability to flow between them. The unfortunate thing is this list of arts can't be seen while fighting. You will have to remember what you placed where, but as I showed earlier, you can freely visit and change anything in the arts menu mid-combat. Now for that next page. Here you can set 4 more arts, bringing your total to 16 arts per character. You activate these by... wait, let me emphasize there is a huge typo with the controls displayed here. You hold L1 and press the corresponding triangle, square, circle, or X button. You do not use the left stick. You hold L1. This new page of arts can be weaved into your other ones, but doing an art while holding L1 uses up a stage. If you press triangle twice, then hold L1 and press triangle, this art will count as stage 3. Press triangle after and its stage 4 art will come out, not its stage 3. This is the normal version of using arts. There is another way to use arts, but first, let's go over the different types of arts, as this distinction is going to be necessary for the more automatic version of using arts I'll be getting into. There are martial, hidden, Moloch, and healing arts. The type of art is shown in an art's description. Martial arts have this sword symbol. These arts are close range. Hidden arts have the same sword symbol but with a white outline. These are often more element oriented. On average, these arts cost more SG. Moloch arts are the purple staff. These are ranged arts that have a cast time. Healing arts are this green healing looking symbol. These heal, cure ailments, resurrect KO'd characters, or do multiples of these. Healing arts will automatically target whichever character has the lowest HP, and 1P will appear above the targeted character's portrait. If you as the player are casting a heal, you can select the heal target by holding the button used to start the art cast, and move the left stick left or right. The 1P icon will shift to the other characters indicating them as the target. You must hold the art button, otherwise the 1P icon will not move. To tell the AI to select a specific target, simply select arts from the combat menu, then select the art from the character's art list, and then select a target. There are also some bonus effects that can be gained depending on how all of these arts are used in combos, but that will be saved for the combo discussion. Do read the art descriptions. Some arts have different directions they attack in depending on which button they are set to, and some are traps that enemies have to walk into. These traps will also go off on their own after a set amount of time. When looking at the yellow texted art names in art descriptions, some will have different types of arts. If the yellow texted art is a martial art or a hidden art, acquiring Warrior's Ventite makes these yellow named arts appear in an art's description. If the yellow texted art is a Moloch or healing art, Wizard's Ventite makes these appear. These yellow texted arts are known as derivative arts. To perform a derivative art is simple. Equip the base art and then hold the button for that art in combat. The base art will be performed and the derivative art will be used right after if you're holding the corresponding button. For the martial and hidden derivative arts, if you continue holding the button, it can chain into more arts. Velvet's Slicing Foot goes into Gouging Spin. Gouging Spin will then go into Harsh Rebuttal. These derivative arts act as a pre-built combo that can be done by just holding a single button. Here's the full combo chain if you just hold the button for Velvet's Slicing Foot. Slicing Foot, Gouging Spin, Harsh Rebuttal, Rising Moon, Searing Edge, Shadow Flow, Cerberus Wave, Defiant Conviction, Tearing Thorn, Swallow Dance, Water Snake's Wake, Rising Falcon. Jesus, it just keeps going! Remember, how many arts can be used in a single combo is limited by how many white outline souls the character has. The combo will end once there are no more white outlines. By the way, the number of white outlines is always equal to how many souls you have. I just want to emphasize the outlines so you pay attention to when your combo will end. Thank you! Moloch and healing derivative arts are a little different. Hold the base art button just as before, but once the cast has finished, nothing happens. Release the button to unleash the base art, or press L2 and it will upgrade to the derivative art, and you have to wait for the cast bar again. Keep upgrading. These derivative arts have their own upgrade paths. As an example, Laphicet's Bright Shade will upgrade to Kaleidos Ray. Kaleidos Ray upgrades to Blessed Drops, and so on and so on. These derivative arts can also be used from our next page. Last reminder, hold L1, the guard button. This has nothing to do with the left stick. A momentary break from the arts window. Time to go over stats and status ailments. These things play a role in what I want to explain next. If you simply want to view a character's stats with no distractions, just select a character in the touchpad menu. There's the usual information: name, level, HP, BG, SG, EXP, total EXP, next art, which art the character will learn next, and all parameters. Note the symbols for the following stats. You will see them on equipment. Attack increases the damage of martial arts. Art attack increases the damage of Moloch arts. Defense reduces damage from martial arts. Art defense reduces damage from Moloch arts. Focus affects SG regeneration rate and chances of inflicting status effects. Notice I did not mention hidden arts. They are weird. The stat that increases damage for hidden arts is either attack or art attack, whichever is lower for that character. In this instance, Laphicet's hidden art damage will be calculated with his attack stat, since it is lower than his art attack. Keeping his attack and art attack relatively even is the strategy for increasing hidden art damage. Defense and art defense work the same when getting hit with hidden arts. Whichever defense stat is lower is the one the damage is calculated with. Leveling a character raises the parameters, maximum HP, unlocks new arts, and a character who gets the last hit on an enemy in battle will earn bonus experience based on the longest combo during that battle. Status ailments. There is paralysis, burn, slow, poison, and fatigue. When a character is inflicted with a status ailment, they cannot heal HP with items or healing arts. You must wait for the ailment to go away, use a panacea bottle to remove the ailment, or using a break soul can heal some HP even when a character has a status ailment. Paralysis will cause movement or attacks to be randomly interrupted. Enemies resistant to non-element attacks cannot be paralyzed, but enemies suffering from reduced attack are 4 times more susceptible to being paralyzed. Burn increases stagger time from taking damage. Characters who are burned have significantly lower chances of inflicting additional effects with their attacks. Enemies resistant to fire attacks cannot be burned, but enemies with reduced art attack are 4 times more susceptible to burns. Slow drastically reduces movement speed. If a character is slowed, they cannot quickstep. Enemies resistant to earth attacks cannot be slowed, but enemies inflicted with reduced defense are 4 times more susceptible to being slowed. Poison causes damage over time and causes a character's attacks to be more easily guarded against. Poison damage can KO a character. Water-resistant enemies cannot be poisoned, but enemies inflicted with reduced art defense are 4 times more susceptible to being poisoned. Fatigue drastically reduces both SG regeneration and the amount of BG restored by Break Souls. Also, casting times are increased. Enemies resistant to wind attacks cannot be fatigued, but enemies inflicted with reduced focus are 4 times more susceptible to fatigue. All status ailments last around 30 seconds by default. Equipment can help reduce the effects of these ailments. Enemy types. There are Beast, Armored, Crustacean, Amorphous, Opodus, Winged, Demi-Human, Undead, Fiend, Dragon, and Person. Now back to the Arts menu. Let's go to the third tab, Break Soul / Mystic Arts. The traits of each character's Break Soul is different, so let's take this moment to go over the specifics of each character. Hold R2 when a character has 3 or more souls to perform their Break Soul. This red symbol indicates a Break Soul, and the character loses 1 soul, but the targeted enemy will gain 1 soul. The soul will be spent, and the targeted enemy gaining a soul will still happen, even if the Break Soul does not hit its target. When using a Break Soul, 3 of the white outlines of the character's souls are restored, allowing the character to perform more arts without ending their series of actions. Using a Break Soul restores some HP, and will heal a character even if they have a status ailment. Defeat an enemy with a Break Soul and regain the soul you just spent. Also, Break Souls cannot be guarded by enemies. Use them to help start combos against guarding opponents, and Break Souls re-stand enemies. If an enemy is knocked down, a Break Soul makes them stand up again, so you can continue your combo. More on combo extensions in the combo section of the video. A note. In the help option, here in the menu, you can view the tutorial screens for various information. These tutorials appear as necessary when certain conditions are met. This can cause you to be missing information within this menu. This includes information for the unique aspects of each playable character. When you get a new party member, please make them the active character at the start of battle for at least 1 battle, so you do not miss these character info pages. If you want them, of course. I managed to do a whole playthrough and not have the information for Eleanor or Magilu, for example. One more thing. The final Break Souls and Mystic Arts for each character will be explained later, because you will not acquire these quickly. At all. Trust me. Time to go over the uniqueness of each character. Velvet by far is the biggest point character that has ever point charactered. She very easily is the cornerstone of this whole party. Her arts are martial arts and hidden arts. Her martial arts are kicks, while her hidden arts use the blade equipped to her arm. Her Break Soul is Consuming Claw. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls to use it, and it costs 1 soul. If the enemy hit with Consuming Claw does not have a status ailment, it steals strength from them and Velvet will enter Demon Mode. It says Demon Mode in the art description, but I'll be calling it Theorinization or Theorionized from now on, as that is what is seen on screen a ton. You can always tell if Velvet is Theorionized due to her claw, or you can look at her character portrait. It changes completely. During Theorinization, Velvet cannot be healed except for using a Break Soul, and her HP drains away over time. The longer she stays in Theorinization, the faster her HP drains. Note, if you use Velvet's Break Soul and whiff it, she will not enter her Theorionized form. For the uninitiated, to whiff an attack is for it to miss the target. She will also be uninterruptible in this form, so throw out as many attacks as you like. Technically, she can be stopped if an enemy lands a Mystic Art on her. Mystic Arts are king, baby. This is what makes her so powerful. The other aspect of this form makes her feel like a god. Velvet can only leave Theorinization when you keep trying to perform actions after her combo actions are used up, meaning the white outlines of the souls are gone, yet you are still pressing buttons for attacks. Or when her HP hits 1. When either of these happen, Velvet performs a final attack that can change based on what type of enemy she hit to enter her Theorinization. She does not die. This is why she is a god. If you have the souls, just Therionize again. She literally can live forever since at worst, she will be left with 1 HP. All of these yellow star symbols are different versions of Velvet's Therionization. They are called break arts, allowing her to perform a different type of attack when her Therionization ends, and they come with some bonus effects. There's a different bonus for each enemy type. Feast. Velvet gets a damage bonus based on the enemy's attack. Armored. Damage bonus based on enemy's defense. Crustacean. Enemy guard rate minus 75%. Amorphous. Damage bonus from enemy art defense. Opodus. Art SG cost minus 30%. Winged. Damage bonus from enemy's focus. Demi-human. Movement speed plus 50% and 2 times SG regen while moving. Undead. Status ailment success rate up. Inflicts status ailments more easily. Fiend. Damage bonus from enemy's art attack. Dragon. Enemy rate of attack reduced each time you inflict damage. Person. HP reduction slowed. Velvet's HP drains away more slowly from her Therionization. Note: Velvet's Consuming Claw does not prioritize what enemy you are targeting. It takes the bonus for the type of enemy her claw hits first. Velvet will unlock more break souls later into the game. Heaven's Claw. Hold R2 while Therionized after performing one action, and it costs 1 soul. This action can be a dash or an attack. It launches an enemy into the air and has a chance to be knocked down. Hell's Claw. Hold R2 while Therionized after performing 2 or more actions, and it costs 1 soul. These actions can be dashes or attacks. It pushes the enemy back, has a chance to knock them down, and knocks them away a large distance. A gold sword and a green sword. Mystic arts and switch blasts respectively. I'll get to these later. Rokuro. He also has martial and hidden arts. His martial arts are his twin blades, and for his hidden arts, he makes seal-based elemental attacks. His break soul is Vengeful Stance. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls, and Rokuro will enter his parry stance, and increase the stun rate of his attacks. Costs 1 soul. This parry stance happens rather quickly, so be careful with your timing. Also, the combo following this break soul cannot be guarded against. Vengeful Punishment. This activates if Rokuro is hit with an attack during his Vengeful Stance. The attack is parried, so Rokuro takes no damage. He counterattacks, and this attack can knock down foes. This attack also repositions Rokuro behind the targeted enemy. Speaking of targeted enemies, when Vengeful Punishment activates, Rokuro will move to counterattack whichever enemy he is targeting, even if that enemy is not the one who attacked him during Vengeful Stance. Note, if the targeted enemy is close enough, Rokuro will use Vengeful Punishment on it, but if it is too far away, Rokuro will use Vengeful Punishment on the enemy that attacked into his Vengeful Stance, and will become his new targeted enemy. Also, Vengeful Punishment can be performed by pressing R2 immediately after blocking an attack. Vengeful Scourge. This one is unlocked later into the game. This is an even more powerful counterattack than Vengeful Punishment, and has a bigger area of effect. Costs 1 soul. Activate this break soul by first activating Vengeful Punishment and not being staggered after it finishes. Then activate Vengeful Punishment again, and Rokuro will do Vengeful Scourge instead of Vengeful Punishment. So, you will do 2 Vengeful Punishments in a row, basically. You are just not allowed to be staggered before doing the second Vengeful Punishment. Laphicet. He uses Hidden Arts, Malic Arts, and Healing Arts. His Hidden Arts are elemental attacks using mana-infused paper. His Malic Arts are mostly non-element arts. Laphicet's break soul is Divide Pain. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls. Costs 1 soul, and halves damage received by allies for 5 seconds. And once its duration ends, heals some HP for all allies. You know when this is activated by the blue aura at the bottom of the screen. There is a bar that appears on Laphicet's character portrait that acts as a timer. Divide Pain also deals damage in a small AoE around Laphicet. Static Force. Activate by holding R2 with 3 or more souls during Divide Pain. This will extend the duration of Divide Pain, and for 4 seconds prevents status ailments on enemies from ending, increases enemy stagger time, and slows the speed enemies fall down, allowing the party to combo with arts that normally aren't able to combo together. When enemies are knocked into the air, they literally fall back down more slowly. Static Force has a red aura at the bottom of the screen, and does a bigger AoE around Laphicet than Divide Pain. Aizen. He uses martial arts, Malic arts, and healing arts. His martial arts are punches that have longer range than you would think. and his Moloch arts are centered around the wind and earth elements. Aizen's initial break soul is Draconic Drive. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls while an enemy is stunned or knocked down. Costs 1 soul. He jumps into the air and fires a fireball at the ground that explodes in an area of effect. He does not even need to be targeting the enemy that is stunned or knocked down, he will simply teleport to an appropriate target. Keep track of what he is targeting. Also, if you defeat your target with Draconic Drive, a new enemy will be selected as a target, and keep holding R2 to perform the next break soul. Once you have acquired it, of course. Dragon Dive. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls during Draconic Drive. Costs 1 soul. Must be activated while Aizen is still aerial during Draconic Drive. He dives into the ground with an area of effect that can knock down enemies. This also allows him to continue his combo once he is back on the ground. Magilu. She has hidden arts, Moloch arts, and healing arts. Her hidden arts are attacks employing her transformed guardians, and her Moloch arts are elemental attacks centered on water and fire. Her break soul is Spell Absorber. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls to decrease ally casting time, and interrupt enemy casting. Costs 1 soul. The combo following this move cannot be guarded against. She also has a set of break arts like Velvet. When Magilu interrupts an enemy cast, she absorbs it, and it fills her meter. This meter is located to the left of her HP bar. Once the meter is filled, she unleashes one of her break arts immediately. It is random which one she uses. Eleanor. She has martial arts, Moloch arts, and healing arts. Her martial arts are spear attacks, and her Moloch arts are spear-fired elemental attacks. Eleanor's break soul is Aerial Strike. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls. Costs 1 soul. This can be used whenever, really. Eleanor launches the target high into the air, and this attack can start a combo. Her other break soul, which she unlocks later into the game, is Strike Zwei. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls during Aerial Strike to activate. Eleanor performs a multi-stage attack into the air. This break soul restores more HP than Aerial Strike. Combo time! I already talked about combos a bit during the arts detailed section earlier. But here's some new information to help guide what arts you may want to use in your combos. Let's go back to the arts menu. In art descriptions, there are elements, bonus effects, and monster types various arts are strong against. Hitting enemy weaknesses does extra damage. Conversely, hitting enemies with arts they are resistant to will do reduced damage. The different damage numbers / words you will see during combat. White, basic damage. Resist in blue. The enemy moderately resists that damage type. Ineffective is even more damage reduction than resist. Guard in blue. The enemy blocked the attack, and the number is how much damage you dealt. Down. You knocked an enemy down and they will not move or attack you. Restrain is also tied to down. This appears when you attack an unresponsive enemy, such as when it is down or when it is performing an uninterruptible action. Power hit in red is hitting an enemy with an art type that it is weak to. Chain in red is a special bonus that can be earned during combos to do even more bonus damage by hitting all weaknesses of an enemy in a single combo. When damage is dealt to a party member, you will see the number for the damage dealt, and if the attack had an element associated with it, you will see the element symbol to the left of the damage number. Green numbers over character portrait HP bars is the amount the character is being healed for. Now what I really wanted to talk about here is the chain bonus during combos. Once you hit each enemy weakness during a combo, Chain appears beneath the combo counter. This is how much bonus damage attacks will deal during this combo, and keep the combo going longer to increase this damage bonus. Set arts in your arts window to set up combo chain bonuses if you really want enemies to die fast. During a weak point combo, a portion of SG consumed leading up to it will be restored at the end and during the combo. Also, all subsequent hits, including those against resistances, will count as hits against a weakness, so now you can deal extra damage using their own resistances against them, but only during the chain combo. Beginning a combo in Tales of Berseria is not too difficult, with how arts equipped instantly combo into each other. In order. But how do you know when a combo will end? When all white outlines from your souls are gone, your character will stop and then begin their attacks again starting at stage 1 for their equipped arts. This is where having low souls puts you at a disadvantage, as the length of your combos are shortened greatly. SG runs out during the combo. Once all SG runs out and the souls are flashing red, it is very likely when you attack an enemy it will guard, and this will cause your character's attack to be deflected, and they stand there doing nothing for a moment. No actions can be taken when this happens. When an enemy is knocked down, you can keep attacking them and the combo counter does not go up. Once they stand up, the combo counter starts over. A combo ends after a Mystic Art. Once you perform a Mystic Art and then begin attacking an enemy again, the combo counter starts over. So use Mystic Arts to end your combos. It is still okay to use them earlier if you just want the damage they provide, and being hit by an enemy while attacking, as it will interrupt your combo. Extending combos. Things you can do to help your combos last longer. The more souls a character has, the higher number of actions they can perform before stopping their attacks. 5 souls equals a maximum of 5 actions. It is possible to have more than 5 max souls. Armory Acerite 4 grants +1 maximum souls to characters wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 20 or more times. Armory Acerite 6 grants +1 maximum souls to characters wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 30 or more times. Armory Acerite 8 grants +1 maximum souls to characters wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 40 or more times. It is also possible to increase the initial amount of souls beyond 3. Armory Acerite 5 grants +1 initial souls to characters wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 25 or more times. Armory Acerite 9 grants +1 initial souls to characters wearing equipment that has been enhanced a combined total of 45 or more times. Break Souls. Do you remember what I said during the Break Soul explanation? Break Souls re-stand knocked down enemies. When an enemy is knocked down, notice how the combo counter is still there. Use a Break Soul to make the enemy stand back up and continue your combo counter. Some specific arts say they pick up downed enemies. These arts are meant to be used on a downed enemy, lifting them off the ground and continuing a combo, like Megasonic Thrust and Infernal Torrent that I used in this example for Velvet. Megasonic Thrust has a chance to knock down the enemy, and Infernal Torrent picks up a downed enemy. Combo bonuses. There are some perks to using certain types of arts before other arts within a combo. For example, use 2 martial arts before a hidden art, and the hidden art will cost 20% less SG. Martial arts provide reduced SG costs. Hidden arts increases the chance to inflict status effects. Malic arts increase stagger time. Break Souls increase damage. The effect of the Break Soul is quite large, and if you perform a Mystic Art after multiple Break Souls, it will do a lot more damage. Now back to the Break Soul and Mystic Art menu for these 2 symbols I did not go over earlier. This green sword symbol is a Switch Blast art. These attacks occur when you switch out of combat characters into battle with D-pad up or down. This character switch always costs 1 BG. Even KO'd characters can be switched out if they can afford the 1 BG cost. When a character is KO'd, pay attention to how much BG is left, as they lose BG upon being KO'd. When at 5 party members, D-pad up is available, and once the party reaches 6 members, D-pad down becomes available. Left and right D-pad will let you select which character to switch out without having to change your active character. Using a Switch Blast will nullify any status effects and add 1 soul to the character coming in. During a combo, a Switch Blast can only be followed by another Switch Blast or a Mystic Art. But if you hold R2 while performing a Switch Blast, the Break Soul for the incoming character will happen instead. Switch Blasts happen fast. You'll have to be careful of the timing when holding R2. Too early and you will use the Break Soul for the starting character, and if you're too late, the incoming character will use their Switch Blast attack. Note, if your active character is near no enemies and you perform a Switch Blast, the incoming character will appear on top of the currently targeted enemy and do their attack. Mystic Arts are indicated by this gold sword symbol. Each character gains Mystic Arts as you progress through the game. A Mystic Art will grant 1 soul upon use. Perform each character's first Mystic Art by holding L2 during a combo, which will consume 3 BG. Use a character's second Mystic Art by holding L2 after performing 8 or more actions with that character without interruption. This consumes 4 BG. Notice I did not say the in-game description exactly as it is written. This description is borderline incorrect. An 8-hit or higher combo is easy to achieve, but will not make these second Mystic Arts work. I'm sure they meant an 8-hit combo with just that character. Even that is not an accurate description. I'll show you. This is a combo with only Velvet that is more than 8 hits. Now, let's do this again, but have Velvet do exactly 8 different actions in one combo. When the second Mystic Art is learned, the character gains 1 max BG, and it provides 2 souls when used in combat. This requires the character to do a combo chain of 8 actions. This includes quick steps. Here's an example that includes 2 quick steps as part of the 8 actions. Also notice during this example I start with 3 BG, so I'm also building up the 4th by using Break Souls. If the character has 8 souls, it would be extremely easy to do, but you'll have to use the property of Break Souls that restores the white outlines of the souls to have the ability to perform 8 actions in one combo. Did you pay attention to my wording earlier? Use a character's second Mystic Art by holding L2 after performing 8 or more actions with that character without interruption, because you can even do a second Mystic Art without it actually being one continuous combo. What I mean by that is it does not matter what the combo counter says or if it goes away and restarts. The game wants you to do 8 continuous actions without interruption or stopping, and when you decide to hold L2 to activate the Mystic Art, the last art performed had to have hit something. Every attack does not even need to connect with an enemy. Defeating an enemy with a Mystic Art greatly increases drop rates. The damage for Mystic Arts is calculated with attack or art attack, whichever is higher, and the damage mitigated when being hit with a Mystic Art is calculated with defense or art defense, whichever is lower. If you would like to practice Mystic Arts or combos, talk to one of these cats NPCs with the balloons and select /beat. Note, this little damage high score minigame has a time limit, so it can still be kind of rough for learning. But hey, at least it'll make you efficient, and you can practice with a selected character with no interruptions from enemies. One more peculiar thing about this high score minigame: the combo counter doesn't go away. So do not be fooled into believing what you're performing here are true combos. Be sure to perform your actions with no pauses in between to accurately simulate what you want to do fighting actual enemies. On the thought of being able to practice combat, the Bing Thing left a comment on my Tales of Arise building the deck, requesting just that, and their question was answered. And this is why I want your comments, whether it is kind words or pointing out something I missed. Wait, I didn't even bother to mention the arena in my response to that comment. They help me think of more useful information to mention or can stand to correct me. And this video about Kisara and Tales of Arise was a result of one needed correction. Also, thank you Noah Kohler for mentioning the artifact as a practice tool. I did not even think about it. Back on topic. Remember, a Break Soul restores 3 white outlines for your souls, letting you extend your combos. It will often be necessary to do this to reach that 8 action limit. Example combos. These example combos are meant to act as a place for you to start with your combos, and each combo is done shortly after you have the full party of 6. Each of them is done with the base starting souls of 3. It is possible to include Rokuro's Break Soul, Vengeful Punishment, into a combo, but it requires CB attack, so it will either be a combo starter or use Vengeful Stance if you notice an incoming attack mid-combo. The information coming up will discuss each character's final Break Souls and Mystic Arts that they can unlock. Skip this part if you do not want some minor spoilers or are early in the game. These are unlockable way later in the game story. I'll also be mentioning how you acquire each of them. Let it begin in 3, 2, 1. The last break souls and mystic arts. They are unlocked for each character by defeating certain optional bosses, and being at least a certain level. I'll tell you the details for each character, and check the video description for details on finding these optional bosses. Velvet. Her final break soul is Nightmare Claw. Hold R2 while Therionized after the third action or more after being Therionized for 20 seconds. Costs 1 soul. This break soul does not restore HP, but it does restore a large amount of BG. The required time to be Therionized can be shortened with a higher amount of actions. Also, when Velvet's character portrait turns red, it means it is time for a Nightmare Claw. Or keep an ear open for her tortured wail. Velvet's third mystic art is Impulse Desire. I'm sorry, but I'm not showing the third mystic arts. I have to leave some surprises. Hold L2 while Nightmare Claw is active, and it requires 5 BG. Unlock Nightmare Claw and Impulse Desire by defeating Reaper's Slanderer. Velvet will acquire Nightmare Claw at level 60, and Impulse Desire is acquired at level 66. Rokuro. His final break soul is Vengeful Retribution. Hold R2 during Vengeful Scourge and costs 1 soul. It can knock down an enemy. I'm going to show the full clip leading up to Vengeful Retribution, and I swear Rokuro's break souls are the most annoying to do, but they're cool. His third mystic art is Form 9 Final Judgment. Hold L2 during Vengeful Retribution. Requires 5 BG. Unlock Vengeful Retribution and Form 9 Final Judgment by defeating Vigilante. Rokuro will acquire Vengeful Retribution at level 60 and Form 9 Final Judgment at level 62. Laphicet. His final break soul is Soul Distortion. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls during Static Force to activate. Extends the durations of Divide Pain and Static Force, and for the next 3 seconds prevents staggered enemies from recovering, stops status effects from triggering for everyone, including enemies, prevents allies from being staggered by enemy attacks, and prevents allies from losing souls. This break soul is indicated by the purple aura at the bottom of the screen. His third mystic art is Indignation. Hold L2 during a combo while Soul Distortion is active and requires 5 BG. Unlock Soul Distortion and Indignation by defeating Lawless Vessel. Laphicet acquires Soul Distortion at level 60 and Indignation at level 61. Aizen. His final break soul is Tyrant's Fate. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls during Dragon Dive, costs 1 soul, and can knock down an enemy. His third mystic art is Venom Strike. Hold L2 during Tyrant's Fate, costs 5 BG. Unlock Tyrant's Fate and Venom Strike by defeating Sky Soldier. Aizen learns Tyrant's Fate at level 60, and Venom Strike at level 65. Magilu. She does not get a new break soul. Instead, she gets a new break art, Tetra Detonator. It counts as all elements. Her third mystic art is the Host of 49. Hold L2 upon performing Tetra Detonator, and it costs 5 BG. The most RNG mystic art. Unlock Tetra Detonator and the Host of 49 by defeating Vengeful Goddess. Magilu learns Tetra Detonator at level 63, and the Host of 49 at level 64. Eleanor. Her final break soul is Strike Dre. Hold R2 with 3 or more souls during Strike Zwei. Costs 1 soul. Her third mystic art is Gungnir Twister. Hold L2 during Strike Dre and costs 5 BG. Unlock Strike Dre and Gungnir Twister by defeating Miraculous Mimic. Eleanor learns Strike Dre at level 60 and Gungnir Twister at level 63. There also exists dual mystic arts, where 2 characters perform a special mystic art together, but no, you have to go out of your way to unlock these. These are unlockable in post-game content after you have finished the story. Unlock conditions can be found in the video description. To perform a dual mystic art, both characters must have 5 BG. One character is in combat, and the other is out of combat. During a combo, switch the in-combat character with the out-of-combat character while holding L2 during the switch. If you're not sure how to time the L2 button press, look for a standby over the active character's portrait. Once it appears, hold L2. This also works for activating break souls during character switching as well. Note, Standby only appears when the active character is mid-action, so the longer the attack animation, the more time you will have to react. It is possible to chain Mystic Arts. As soon as a Mystic Art ends, another one begins, maintaining the combo counter. Once you begin a Mystic Art, keep holding L2 before it ends, and hold D-pad up, down, left, or right to choose which character performs a Mystic Art next, if they have the BG to do so. If your active character starts a Mystic Art, and the next character in the cycle does not have enough BG to perform their Mystic Art, it breaks the chain. It will not skip over the low BG character to reach the next eligible character. Be sure if you want to keep the Mystic Art chain going as long as possible, make sure they are in order of who has enough BG. Another aspect to Mystic Art chaining. The first 2 Mystic Arts in the chain will be the character's first Mystic Arts. The next 2 in the chain will be the character's second Mystic Arts, and the last 2 will be the character's third Mystic Arts. If not all Mystic Arts are unlocked, the character will use the highest level Mystic Art they have following this same order. So if no third Mystic Arts are unlocked, characters will just do their level 2 Mystic Art when they are the 5th or 6th in the chain. Chain multiple Mystic Arts together for a single character. Once you have the first and second Mystic Arts, do a 7-action combo and hold L2 during the 7th action to perform the first Mystic Art. The Mystic Art will count as the 8th action required for the second Mystic Art, so just keep holding L2. This requires 7 BG. Chain dual Mystic Arts. Once you perform a dual Mystic Art, hold L2 during the Mystic Art, and hold the D-pad button for a character that is eligible to do their dual Mystic Art. In this example, I first start Velvet and Laphicet's dual Mystic Art. Next, I want to start Rokuro and Aizen's dual Mystic Art. One character has to be in the active party, and the other is out of combat. Then, during the first dual Mystic Art, hold L2, plus the D-pad button for Rokuro in this instance, and the next dual Mystic Art will happen. Rokuro and Aizen must fulfill the requirements for the dual Mystic Art, of course. With this same setup, if you were to hold L2 plus D-pad down to begin the second dual Mystic Art with Aizen instead of Rokuro, it will not work. You have to hold a D-pad button with the character that is in the current battle party. Equipment. Here is the equipment currently equipped, current character stats, and the highlighted items information. You can equip a weapon, a star accessory. Okay, I'm saying a star accessory because this equipment has a different name per character. Velvet is belts, Rokuro talisman, Laphicet bags, Aizen pendants, Magilu earrings, and Eleanor ribbons. Armor, ring, shoes, and titles. Below the equipment is the total stats for the character, and when selecting new equipment, you can see what the stat changes will be. Red is a decrease in a stat, and blue is an increase. For equipment, you can see the item type, rarity. Item rarity goes up as you progress through the game. Higher rarity items drop from higher level enemies. But the item rarity does not necessarily mean it is a stronger piece of equipment than lower rarity ones. Various equipment is also only dropped by specific enemies, so be sure to reference the bestiary when looking for a specific equipment. Most of your equipment will come from enemy drops. Name? A lovely description. Which characters can equip this item? The base stats this item increases. The symbols here match the symbols on the bottom left. Higher item rarities also means they will have higher base stats during upgrading when compared to lower rarity ones. These stats will also vary quite a bit, and they will not always be the same stats or even only increase one stat. But these base stats will always be the same for each type of equipment. An Amber Blade will always have a base 49 attack and 12 defense. There are various skills that equipment will have. The Master Skill and the 2 enhancement bonuses will always be the same for a specific type of equipment. Example, an Amber Blade will always have a Master Skill of attack plus 5 and the same 2 enhancement bonuses. Master Skills are important, as they can provide permanent buffs to a character. Each piece of equipment has an experience bar that can be filled when using the equipment in combat, which is this red bar. Once it is filled, it will show Mastered instead of the EXP bar. This same EXP bar can be seen on the character portrait as a green bar, and it will change to a star once mastered. When a Master Skill is mastered, its effect is doubled while the character has that item equipped. So the Amber Blade will now give Velvet attack plus 10, not 5, if she has it equipped. But, since the skill is now mastered, Velvet gains a permanent attack +5 even if she is not equipped with an Amber Blade. Press triangle to check equipment skills. Here you can view all active skills your equipment provides. You can even filter them by offense, defense, and support. When filtering, you can also see the experience progress for each master skill you currently can equip. The now permanent attack +5 will be displayed here. Also, if Velvet were to have multiple attack increases from various equipment, it will total them all here under attack. Enhancement bonuses. There are always 2. Gain these bonuses by upgrading the item. Upgrading an item increases its base stats. I'll go over equipment upgrading when explaining shops. The +4 next to the item name indicates its upgrade level. As you upgrade your equipment, there's a chance for each enhancement bonus to be acquired. Once a bonus is gained, the text turns white. It can take multiple upgrades to unlock both bonuses. It is possible for both to unlock at once. While upgrading, the first enhancement bonus effect will increase. There is a maximum for these increases depending on what bonus it is. Random skills. They are as described. Very random. When you begin the game, these will not appear. Certain potentites will unlock the ability to gain these random skills. More specifically of the glaciite variety. These skills appear on equipment dropped from enemies or purchased at shops. You can't add these random skills to already acquired equipment. So gain the appropriate glacites and there will be a random chance for these skills to appear on newly dropped equipment or equipment sold at shops. A couple examples. Prodigy's glaciite will allow for any of these +5s to any stat, and max HP +30 to appear as a random skill. Vampire's glaciite will allow absorb HP effect increases by 1.2 times, and HP recovery on defeating foes +30 to appear as random skills. The first one increases the HP absorption of the HP absorb effect on a character's arts. There are many more random skills that will be added as you gain more glacites. You'll be managing base stats, master skills, enhancement bonuses, and random skills for all equipment, but titles are different. Titles provide title skills. Each title provides different effects. As characters level or meet certain requirements, new titles will unlock. All titles are not the same or unlocked in the same way per character. Titles in white text are unlocked, and grayed out ones are not. Hover over a gray title to see its unlock requirements, and once unlocked, it tells you what you have to do to unlock the next skill for that title. Select titles that help fit your playstyle for each character. Shops. Buy, sell, enhance, and dismantle items. There's a shop level. You will gain bonuses such as new potentites by increasing this level or other items. Gain experience for this EXP bar by using the shop's services and making purchases. Shops do replenish their stock of items over time, but do pay attention to the equipment on offer as these are always changing. Buy your gels for HP restoration in or outside of combat. Panacea bottles to cure status ailments, life bottles to revive KO'd characters, and more. Each consumable is capped at 15. Then, the equipment. You can even see the stat changes for your characters on the right. Also, the thing I still need to do sometimes is check the button key at the bottom, because there is a compare feature. Press square. Compare the currently highlighted equipment, outlined in red under selected, and the character's currently equipped equipment under equipped. And you can buy ingredients for cooking. Cooking will be after discussing the rest of these shop options. Sell. Selling your items for some good old gold. Under the Materials tab and the Final tab here, using L2 or R2, is Salvaged items. These are free gold. Be sure to sell these first if you're in need of gold, as selling them is their only purpose. Enhance. Upgrade your equipment. It is very simple. At the start, press L1 or R1 to switch to the different equipment types, and L2 or R2 to switch between the different types of weapons, accessories, armor, and shoes. When hovering over a piece of equipment, check here on the bottom left. This is the acquired materials to upgrade this item. The first number is how many you need, and the second is how many you currently have. The number of materials increases for each upgrade, and what materials are needed is dependent on what item is being upgraded. As you progress through the game, you will acquire potentites that increase the maximum upgrade level of your equipment. The first one is the Novice Smith's Acerite, which will let you upgrade to +3. The highest upgrade level you can unlock is +10. See the video description for how to acquire each potentite. Dismantle. Break down acquired equipment to receive enhanced materials. On the bottom left is the materials to be received from dismantling the highlighted equipment. The materials received are tied to the rarity and current upgrade level of the equipment. Bronze scrap, for example, will be obtained when dismantling rarity 1, 3, and 5 equipment, while certain fluids and powders are gained by dismantling already upgraded equipment. For all details regarding what rarity equipment dismantles to what, all enhancement ingredients, optimal upgrading, and so much more, please check out the document written up by The Dark Knight in the video description. To equipment. Change your equipment without having to leave the shop menu. Note, you will run low on gold and or upgrade materials. Truly consider where you want your resources to go. Cooking. Cook food for bonuses during battles. Food effects only last for one battle, hence the option for auto cook. Choose which dish you would like to cook and set it to cook the same dish at the end of each battle. In this menu, there is the list of recipes, tabs for filtering types of dishes, description of the food, and required ingredients. Each food has a trigger condition which determines when the food effect activates, and the dish effect describing exactly what the effect for the food is. A few effects are recovering HP once a character's HP falls under a certain amount, preventing all status ailments, restoring BG, or increasing equipment drop rates. Cook and eat is to just cook the one dish and move on. The last option is skills. When you cook a dish, you select which character cooks it. That character gains cooking experience, and as they level their cooking, they will gain new skills. The effects of these skills are applied when they cook. The cooking level and EXP bar for each character can be seen under their portraits when not in the skills menu. Expeditions. Quite a lot of your cooking recipes will come from this. Expeditions are simple. Select an island to explore and wait in real time. The expeditions are not a key mechanic to Tales of Berseria, so no need to be stressed out about it. Complete expeditions and gain experience. Gain experience and gain new islands to explore. Explore islands to gain materials. Get cooking ingredients, sellable items, recipes, fashion items, and treasures. Characters unlock skills that make exploration more efficient, like reducing the expedition time, increased EXP gained, etc. Once an expedition is finished, a list of character skills appears, and these skills will be active for the next expedition. Choose expeditions based on the active skills to help you get some of those missing items. Code Red hunts. As the game progresses, hunts for named enemies will become available. You can check its name, level, location, drops, and gold reward when defeated. Filter between not defeated and defeated enemies with L1 and R1. This list also gets updated throughout the game as you speak to the NPCs that have this symbol. Also, defeating these Code Red hunts does not reward experience, but you will find some of them useful to defeat for the variety of potentites that can be gained, and the high grade earned. Of course, if you want to view all potentites acquirable from these hunts and all hunt targets, you know where to look. Truthfully, I have to say it anyway just in case. The video description. And also, if one of the hunt targets has an exclamation mark to the left of the name, means you defeated it but have not talked to the NPC to receive your hunt reward. Difficulties. There are a few differences between difficulties that are more than making enemies have more HP. The effects of some potentites are only active on certain difficulty levels. Be sure you read them. Simple. Not only is it the easiest difficulty, but it also removes the worry of elements. Your arts no longer have any elemental attributes. This also means your foes will have no elemental weaknesses or resistances. Normal is normal. Moderate. Your characters receive less experience from battles, but you receive more gold and higher bonus experience. Hard. Makes the game even harder while adding in reduced healing from healing arts. The next two difficulties have to be unlocked. For you crazy people, Intense and Chaos. Check the video description for unlock requirements. Inns. Rest at inns to restore all HP and BG for each character. Only 100 gold. That's cheap. Items. Filter tabs to view all your items. You can use gels from this menu. Do be on the lookout for herbs. They provide permanent stat increases for a selected character, and they also provide a full heal. You will want some Denor and Enough bottles to save you some travel time. Denor bottle. Press L2. Used while inside dungeons that will instantly send you back to the entrance as long as you have passed through it before. Enough bottle. Press L2. Used to send you to the entrance of any town you have visited. As you progress through the game, the list of visitable areas increases. Even if you choose to not use these items, do not forget they exist. The New tab shows your last few acquired items. Within the other tabs, New is on recently acquired items as well. Once you highlight the item, New will go away. The Potentites tab will be useful to go over their effects, as you will get a lot of them. AI controls. Change the control mode for the active character. There is manual, semi-auto, and auto. This can be changed in the combat menu. Press L1. In the arts menu, press the options button, and in the out of combat main menu. You do have to highlight the first character and press the options button to change control mode. Manual. You have full control of your character's movements and attacks. When you attack, your character will automatically face the targeted enemy for the attack. If you move the left stick in a direction and attack, your character will attack in that direction. When casting Malik arts in manual, be aware of the AoE type. Some Malik arts are projectiles, so if you hold a direction when the cast is finished, it will be fired in that direction. But if the art appears on top of the targeted enemy, it will always appear on top of them, even if your character is facing a different direction. Semi-auto. When performing an attack, your character will first move in range for the attack and then do the attack. If holding the left stick in a direction, then you do an attack, they will ignore your left stick position and run towards the targeted enemy until in range to do their attack. If you are in semi-auto and you want to cancel an attack, just move the left stick again in any direction while the character is still running to get in range. Semi-auto may also get in the way of trap art placement. The active character will run into a certain range of the enemy and then place the trap. Switch to manual to avoid this. Auto. Make your active character behave like the AI-controlled party members. Just let the game play the game for you. Move your camera to keep up with the action, or if you do absolutely nothing, the camera will begin to do this slow pan on its own. Strategy is another way to customize how your characters behave in battle. For each character, you can choose options for action, tactics, attack/healing, blast, and break soul. Under action we have, up to you. The AI decides itself what it will do. Target strong enemies. They will attack higher level enemies first. Target multiple enemies. They will use attacks that will hit as many enemies as possible. Target rear enemies. They will attack the enemies furthest away from the active character. Run rampant. Be a menace to monster society, changing targets constantly. Hey, this is what they do to you. Target nearby enemies. Attack close foes first. Reduce numbers. Attack enemies with low HP. Interfere with enemy arts. Target art using enemies and interrupt their cast. Target enemies with more souls. Attack enemies who hold the most souls. Rescue allies in danger. Attack enemies targeting allies low on HP. Under tactics there is close combat. Use lots of close quarter arts. Engage at range. Keep distance from foes when attacking. Balanced. Use all arts in a balanced way. Who needs balance? Fast attacks. Prioritize arts that happen quickly. Aim for weakness. Use arts that target enemy weaknesses. Attack/healing. Hold nothing back. Fully offensive with no regard to HP. Be aggressive. Be offensive until their HP is below 25%. Balanced. Be offensive until their HP is below 50% with a sprinkle of guarding and evasion thrown in. Be defensive. Focus on defense and healing, with some attacks if HP is above 75%. Defense only. Focus entirely on defense and healing. Blast. You decide. AI will use its own judgment. Mystic Art. Use Mystic Arts during combos or when enemies are stunned. Will not use Switch Blasts. Change out. Use Switch Blasts when HP is low and another character is available to switch in. Will not use Mystic Arts. When full. When BG is full, use Mystic Arts with low BG costs, or Switch Blast when HP is low. Do not use. Don't use the blast gauge. Break Soul. You decide. AI decides when to use Break Souls and keeping soul count above 3 unless near death. For attacking, use Break Souls offensively during combos or when enemies are stunned. Regenerate. Use Break Souls to heal. When full, use Break Souls only when souls are at max. Do not use. Do not use Break Souls. Now, who noticed I skipped over the arts list earlier in the video? It is time for the arts list. Here you can select which art the AI is allowed to use. Press square on an art to remove its red checkmark. You can also turn off Mystic Arts. If you want a party member to use a specific art immediately, you can open the arts menu during combat and select it, and choose an appropriate target. Do pay attention though. The command will need to be reapplied if the character is interrupted. You can even tell the AI to perform a mystic art or break soul. When mystic art is chosen, the word reserved appears over their portrait. Wait for them to do their thing. Anytime the conditions for arts are not met, or if it is simply not usable, they will be grayed out indicating you can't select them as a command for the AI. Note, if a character is out of combat, all of their arts will be in white. Put them in combat to see what you can and can't order them to do. Wait, what did you say? Why does the game keep all but the first break souls and mystic arts grayed out no matter what? Do you want the game to do literally everything for you? You have to put in some work somewhere, you lazies? Now, I say this, but you can check all the mystic arts and adjust break souls in the strategy menu and have a chance for them to happen with no input coming from you. You just can't specifically order a character to do them on the spot. The map. A few notable things. These dotted lines show where you have been recently, in case you're unsure of where you just came from. Press the Options button for a key for all map icons. Hold R2 and move the right stick up and down to adjust height to view areas in the current zone at different elevations, also marked by this high-low bar. Hold L2 and move the right stick up and down to zoom the map in and out. And this transparent white cone shows which direction your character is facing. Press L1 and R1 to cycle through the different zones for your primary location. Current active quests are displayed here on the right, and press X to be shown where you need to go for that quest. This takes you to the world map. Press triangle to also reach the world map from the regular map menu. Press square to switch between the area and the quest lists. My only complaint with this map is I can't use the left stick to move a cursor to select a location. You must cycle through this list of locations. Entering and leaving combat. Run into an enemy to start battle, but later you will unlock favorable, risky, and dangerous encounters. Activate a favorable encounter by running into the back of the enemy. Everyone in the party will start the battle with 1 extra soul, and enemies will start with less HP. A risky encounter occurs when an enemy runs into your back. Everyone will start with 1 less soul. And a dangerous encounter is when you run into more than one enemy within a close proximity, noted by this black circle on the ground. During a dangerous encounter, enemy levels increase, HP restoration is reduced to 1/4, bleeding takes 4 times as long, enemy reinforcements will join the battle, and enemies will attack more frequently. The positives of these encounters are higher drop rates and more grade at the end of battle. Also, if you start a dangerous encounter, the enemy levels will be slightly higher than your own, even when you are at endgame and walk into weaker enemies from earlier areas. A tip for starting your battles with more souls. Of course, the favorable encounter, but you can also place your favorite character outside the starting party, then switch them in to gain an extra soul. You of course have to be okay with spending the 1 BG with the initial character, but doing this plus a favorable encounter will let you start your fight with 2 extra souls on your preferred character. Combat grade. Let's take a look at the end of battle screen. You can see max damage, EXP earned, highest combo, gold received, time to win, and grade. There's also any items, arts learned, and titles earned that will be displayed here. Press X to see the next thing you received. Once you press X on the last thing received, the end battle screen will close, or just press circle. Press triangle to view the details determining how you were graded. Get better grade to increase the EXP gain for your equipment's master skills. And when you get the Marathoner's Ventite, chain battles will be unlocked. When you win a battle, a meter appears here on the screen. If you win another battle before this meter empties, it will continue to increase the amount of grade you will receive up to double the normal amount of grade. It goes up by 0.1 per battle, until it caps at 2 times. This effect resets if a character is KO'd, you flee battle, or you save the game. Note, the grade received is the literal amount of EXP gained towards master skills. If it says 1.52 grade, that is the exact amount the EXP bar goes up. Maintaining this bonus through consecutive battles can cause dire foes to appear if you possess the Daredevil's Ventite. Dire foes are connected to a location, so you must win fights consecutively in the same location. Note this Ventite only works on normal difficulty or higher. Dire foes are basically another type of boss enemy. When a dire foe is in battle, other enemies are invincible, so good luck. The invincible enemies will be blue like these. If you find you're not doing so well, you can flee from them. Defeating a dire foe earns you valuable items, lots of gold, and lots of grade. These enemies appear more often if the difficulty is higher. More grade has been earned, this is based on the average across recent battles, and more battles have been fought in the area. Also, if you defeat a dire foe and you get the same exact dire foe to appear again, it will be at a higher level. Each time you run into the same dire foe, its level will increase. This huge monkey is not level 67 the first time you encounter it. And the same exact dire foe may be another location's dire foe. So do not be surprised to see a dire foe you've seen before in a completely different area of the world map. As long as the line around the battle arena is not red, you can flee from that battle. Just run into the line. Once this bar fills, you will leave the battle. If you are in a dangerous encounter, it will take 4 times longer. A tip: put Velvet into Therionization and use her to flee the battle, since she will never be staggered while Therionized. On the Game Over screen, you only get load save or return to title. Please remember to save your game at these save points, as often as possible. This is for you new gamers. Not every game autosaves. Please remember there are documents in the video description for all equipment upgrading, potentites, code red hunts, numbers for changes for difficulty settings, a walkthrough, and much more information. Thank you for listening to me talk for over an hour. That's a new record. If you would like to listen to my voice even more, check out more from my Building the Deck playlist to the left, or look at my playlist for The Collection. And click the subscribe button if you'd like to see more guides. Until next time.